Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called How a Human Fixed the Galaxy's Greatest Computer, written by Captain Candy. The Great Machine. Nobody knows where it came from. Any dating method used tells us that it is as old as the galaxy, if not older. When the first species crawled out of the mud and muck and made it to the stars, they quickly found the machine. It's hard to miss, as it's the size of an entire world. The theories are many, but concrete answers few. The prevailing theory, though, is that it was a rogue planet that through some miracle gave birth to intelligent life. Having no home galaxy, as this life grew and expanded on its world, it ran out of space and resources. In an effort to grow more advanced and save themselves, it is believed that they turned their entire planet into this grand machine. The power source, as near as we can tell, is the core of the planet that was hollowed out into a giant fusion reactor that would put out almost as much energy as a star. The server banks and data processing technology are far beyond any researcher's understanding. Even the syndicates, who can merge with and integrate computers into their bodies, seem unable to connect or turn on the system. The world computer has been studied, mapped out, and over-examined for millennia now. It's led to each and every one of the technological revolutions in the galaxy. When we found the manufacturing facilities of the machine, would it lead to the drastic decrease in cost of making everything from spaceships to toys? When we discovered the medical facilities, we became able to cure 95% of all illness galaxy-wide. Just examining the walls of this place with the right instruments told us of materials so far down the periodic table that it seemed absurd. While we have no idea how to produce these materials, just knowing they are possible led us to make great strides in funding the technologies that might lead us to it. But despite all of this, the machine, as advanced and as godlike as it seems, has never once been active. Not even a spark of life has ever been recorded in the machine. We tried flooding the fusion chamber with fresh hydrogen, helium-3, and every other feasible fusion material. The reactor simply never starts. We tried attaching our own power sources to it, flooding the electrical system of the great machine with enough power to be classified as a level 3 civilization. We put our greatest AIs to look over every inch of the machine and find any faults they may be causing it to be unable to power up. No matter how deep we ran our diagnostics, or how thoroughly we observed the mechanical components, every mechanical component has been scanned, studied, and reconstructed for better understanding. Despite our every last effort, this great machine has yet to turn on or show any sign of life whatsoever. The greatest engineering species in the galaxy had failed. The mechanical psychics who could feel the wills of machines had failed. Our every effort rebuffed, our every attempt unsuccessful. We gave up for the time being and made the great machine simply a place where students of many fields of many schools across the galaxy could go and tour. A museum of sorts for the entire galaxy to study and learn from. Hundreds of years passed like this, and the great machine slowly faded from everyone's mind, except for a few odd devotees who refused to accept that the great machine would never hum to life again. During this time, many species had been discovered, each and every one of them fascinated with the great machine world for about a decade before giving up, much like the rest of the galaxy did. The humans stood out, coming from the highest ever rated Deathworld and being great engineers out of sheer need more than anything else. They had some odd tendencies and practices that nobody else in the galaxy had. Notably, the gravity and microbes on their planet could misalign components inside of their machines and computers. It was probably just a human mechanic who got angry at his car who first discovered the phenomena, but percussive maintenance was something uniquely human. We still have the recordings of what happened when one particularly, passionate engineer finally got sick of the great machine. It would not work. The man was the only one at the time attempting to get the great world to hum with life force once more. After trying for the best part of 2 years and not getting any results whatsoever, the human returned to his species' unique method of repair. Here is the recording. "Poor fucking thing, I've turned you every bolt that was loose, double-checked you every circuit in the surface, quadruple-checked every component of that damned reactor." The man begins hitting the nearby pipe while shouting words between every full force slam of his wrench. Why won't you work? Turn on, you stupid fucking cunt! With the last full-bodied slap of his wrench and a few huffing breaths, the pipe began to rattle. The rattling continued down the pipes, echoing through the hundreds of feet of the machine. Then a new sound, a hissing sound, followed by tens, then hundreds, then thousands of beeps and lights flickering on. Inside the massive reactor, hydrogen flooded in, and arcs of energy the size of skyscrapers flickered. Machinery began to click and whir as lights flickered on and facilities came to life after an unknown and probably uncountable years. Then a voice rang out through the facility from the man who managed to somehow repair the great machine world. Ha ha ha! I knew ya! I was only sleeping. Just needed a bit of a shake to be woken up. From there, the robotic voice came out from the hidden speaker on the wall near the engineer. Thank you for waking me, little one. May I know your name and species? I wish to share my knowledge as I've been stuck in slumber for, 13 billion years. A reward is needed to be given to those who have woken me, so I may once more bring my creators to life. They've been lying in, Wait. Are you human? End of story. Story number 2, Tribute, written by Noobs vs. Ater NVM. What do you want? Is not something one expects to hear upon declaring war. Mercy, you'll regret it, sure. But are humans so backwards they couldn't understand the concept of war? Once our diplomats answered, a series of questions followed. Why? While none expected humans to be particularly bright, the foolishness displayed was simply baffling. In the end, they finally understood. Ships aren't built out of nothing. Soldiers don't march on empty stomachs, and our proud warrior race doesn't demean itself on the farms and mines. Once the humans' feeble minds finally caught up, no shot was fired, no planet busted, no colony occupied. The simple prospect of war made the humans agree, right then and there, to provide everything we sought. The following centuries were most prosperous. Our fleets conquered system after system. Our troops marched on planet after planet, and our glorious forces spread across the galaxy. Behind us stood the humans, ready to supply us with all the metal, tritium, calories we might need. So eager they were to please their masters. They would scour the stars for new planets to farm, new asteroids to mine, and as our proud warriors took their spoils amongst the conquered, the humans took the displaced refugees. When the king died, all hailed the new king. All except his brother, who took a few of the smaller garrisons and rose in rebellion. As the fleets pursued, the rebel took shelter in human systems. The Star March proceeded with no resistance, but no compliance either. We are neutral, the humans said, as they refused to tend to the farms, to work the mines, to pay the tribute which flowed for generations. System after system was occupied, until it wasn't. Ships aren't built out of nothing. Soldiers don't march on empty stomachs, and the rebel force left its exile, fat on human grain and armed with human metal. There was little to do but hail the new king. For their aid, they could have their freedom. They could have diminished tribute, but feeble is the human mind, and all they asked for was the former king be spared, and so he was. In disgrace, the once proud monarch was exiled to earth. The following centuries were most prosperous, as our glorious forces continued to spread across the galaxy. Behind us still stood the humans, ready to supply us. They got better at it too. In the eagerness to please us, new systems were settled, new machines sprouted, new forms of terraform were developed, their quotas rising higher and higher in service of their masters. When Nova Canaris was attacked, our soldiers knew what to do. We are the masters of the galaxy, and no one threatens our tributary. 1 million lives were paid, and then 1 billion more. But in the end, the enemy folded, and our grateful vassals took the burden of rebuilding the vanquished foe. When the king died, all hailed the new king, all except his cousin, born in exile on the human world. As the fleets pursued, the stars marched again, proceeded with no resistance and no compliance. So, when the princess emerged to meet the troops starved of metal, fuel, and food, there was little to do but hail the new queen. The following centuries were most prosperous, as the humans, always in search of new worlds, always in pursuit of new knowledge, showed the way for our glorious forces to continuously spread across the galaxy. Forever loyal in their support, dutifully guarding the Queen's sons, daughters, siblings. Humans are very fortunate to have us as their masters. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 peeps: Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Bushmaster 177, Henry the Red, Caspar Arnholtz, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Elijah Silvercross, Dragzoon WRE, and Severin Cerberus. Thank you very much.